In this video, guys, we're going to talk about hacking your brain into being a disciplined trader. Stay tuned. Hey guys, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so becoming disciplined as a trader is such a nice position to be in. It gives you confidence that you're going to execute your strategy clearly. It gives you confidence that when you're on drawdown, you're going to be able to just calm yourself down and recover that money. It gives you confidence to know when you're going to press high. It's just a much better place to be. And also confidence that the market can never damage you too much. The trouble is when you're ill-disciplined and poorly disciplined is that you go in fearing the market. You're like, well, it could hammer me, the market. And that's because you don't trust your discipline to be able to come out the market, take a step back, take a break after a certain amount of losers, your position size, etc., etc., etc. So hacking your brain into becoming a disciplined trader is kind of a shortcut, if you like, to getting the ability to be disciplined. There's loads of things we want to try to do. We want to attack this from all different angles, but this one helps loads. So really what we're trying to do is, first of all, we're trying to prove to ourselves that we become disciplined. So the first thing we're doing is we're just doing something very simple. You're like, okay, I'm going to do a checklist before each day of trading. I'm going to do X, I'm going to do Y, something that you can control. And we do that for a certain period of time. And then we go, yes, I've achieved an aspect of discipline. Right. So now you can believe that you have it in you. Because at the moment you're probably doing all sorts of stuff. You're swinging all over the place. You're trading different size. You're not sticking to rules. You're over trading, etc., etc., etc. And you just don't believe that you've got any discipline in you. So once you've done that first, now the hack comes when we actually start to set our standards for ourselves. Because if you notice, guys, traders who are operating in the real upper echelon have very high standards for themselves. Now, maybe you can say it's from market returns perspective, maybe, but it's more to do with how they conduct their trading, how they conduct their analysis, how they approach the screen, when they trade, when they allocate risk capital. And this is down to your personal standards in the market. So if your standards are here, and you're happy to break rules, you're happy to do this, you're happy to trade from your phone now and then, you're happy to just not care about how you're operating and not being very professional in it, then ultimately you're going to sit in this losing period. It might be more of a sine wave because that ends up being a mean and you dip into profitability now and then because you kind of up and down because it oscillates around your standards, but ultimately you're going to be losing. So what we're trying to do, and the hack here, is to raise your standards. And what does that mean? It's basically saying, okay, well, I am a disciplined trader. Because you've all got standards, guys. I think of day-to-day life, we've all got different standards of how we conduct ourselves. Some people have very high standards, some people have very low standards, and most of us sit somewhere in the middle. And hopefully we're trying to get high standards for ourselves. So it's the same in trading. If your standards are brought up and you say, hey, listen, I am someone who prepares before the trading day. I'm somebody who carefully analyzes my trades. I'm somebody who is very cautious about my position size. I'm somebody who's very good at analyzing this, or whatever it is. All of a sudden, you're bringing your standards high. Now, does that guarantee profitability? No, because like I say, it's an oscillation around a mean of your standards. But if you can bring these up and start to believe them, this is why we're doing little bits that actually prove that you're disciplined, that prove that you can make some money in the markets, prove that you've got what it takes. You start to edge yourself up into this area. So now your mean standards are here because you said, yeah, I'm a professional trader. I approach things right. My standards are this, I do that. All of a sudden the mean for that becomes there. So yes, whilst you may well be losing periods of time, you're going to be much more profitable and much more periods of profitability. And actually, guys, the main thing is the amplitude of this. If your standards are low, generally you kind of swing up and down. You have big losers like this and then small winners and big. You start to be a bit calmer with things. And then you start to work your way up. Now, of course, this sometimes isn't always going to be profitable. So take this literally, but you get the idea. The point is you're hacking your brain into believing that you have what it takes, and you have to prove. You can't just convince yourself and kind of not walk the walk, walk the talk. You have to actually do it. But it doesn't matter at the beginning how much you're doing it. Just sticking to some rules, just having some discipline, just sticking to something for a while. And then you start to believe, yes, I am actually a disciplined trader. I am a professional trader. I do approach it with a professional methodology. I am doing something that others aren't doing in the market. So I deserve to be in the upper sphere. I deserve to be in the upper tier because I'm approaching it way different from all the other retail traders out there. And the standards start to rise. Then the expectations of yourself start to rise, then the profits will start to rise naturally. So the discipline, the hack, should I say, hacking your brain is to increase and improve your standards. Affirm your standards, talk about your standards, regularly look at them, see what you are as a trader and start to, live by those with your executions, and you'll start to see an improvement in your execution. You start to see an improvement, hopefully, in your profitability, and over time, that's how you start to conduct your trading activities. Of course, you can just think, okay, I'm a disciplined trader, great one. I'm very cautious about allocating risk capital. I'm very good at coming out when the market's not in the right conditions for me. 3 or 4 of those standards, like, hey, this is how I trade. And then, of course, every trade you do will be aligned with that as you move forward. So, hack your brain into being a disciplined trader, guys. Let me know if that works for you. Take care. Bye-bye.